Hey guys, I'm gonna wait just like 2 minutes to give everybody a chance to catch up. In that 2 minutes, you can look at this really pretty roll die. From, I believe this one. Who made this one, Vincent?
Oh, that's Cranston Fancy Wire.
This is Cranston Fancy Wire Company. I wonder if it's dated.
No, that one's not.
No
But
date on it.
where would you? It's probably Victorian era styling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What would you say? Judging
Yeah,
by...
definitely. Early 1900s. Still in pretty good condition. Yeah.
Show them the inside and the size that has to fit on the arbor.
Yeah. So these aren't like the kind of rolls that would fit on the outside of a rolling mill, like your outboard rolls. This is a much larger, heavier duty kind of a thing. And what they do is they create bracelet material. Yeah. So, anybody watching yet?
5.
Oh, cool. So I'm going to show you how to do something cool with this material here.
Oh yeah, it's our view count's racking up.
Yeah. These kind of rolls, this isn't something that we can offer. Like, we can't sell you guys rolls. Sorry. They're difficult to produce and very expensive to make. And requires special machinery to actually run them. You need a special kind of rolling mill to do these. This isn't, yeah. This is, as you can see, there, the roll, the hole is is bigger than most people's actual rolls in their rolling mill. These are fairly large, 3.5, 4 inches probably. Then you have a counter roll that they fit together, so they're a matched pair that works together.
Give them a good shot of, yeah, right there. You can see how perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go take a look at your rolling mill setup, Vincent. You know what, Vincent?
What?
We should trade because this is your company.
Okay.
Here, we're gonna swap.
All right. Here. Everyone's on lunch. It's fine.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
You're gonna tell everybody about how rolling pattern works.
About how rolling pattern works for the millionth time.
Well, I think a lot of people haven't seen it.
Oh no, I know. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll follow Vincent over to his area, but I'll take over after he tells you the history and stuff. He knows it better than me.
All right. So this is a 1870s rolling mill. You can see this is how this pattern was made. This method of rolling wire definitely went out of style around, would you say, the 1960s with the advent of the high stamping press?
Yeah, they started stamping it.
Yeah, they started stamping what previously would be rolled, and this kind of went out of fashion. So the Cranston Fancy Wire Company dates back to the 1860s in Cranston, Rhode Island. And we acquired them in like 2018, 2017.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And this
is
their collection.
This is them. So yeah, there's a lot of rolls. There is a lot of rolls.
Yeah, and so how this would work?
And then they're up here too.
Yeah, and then, so that's the Cranston Fancy Wire Company. On the other side here...
Sorry if you guys are getting dizzy.
Yeah, you're not as good a cameraman as me.
No, I'm not.
On the other side is the Frank Moreau Company. And they did the exact same thing, except they also did stamping. Whereas Cranston Fancy Wire specifically stuck to a very old method of roll production. Whereas by the time... we acquired the Frank Moreau collection, these hadn't been used in a long, long time. This was their old tooling. And, yeah, so these patterns date, the company started in 1929. And, so a lot of these are very, early 30s patterns.
Yeah, here's some. So we've got a little bit of everything. So like there's ring shanks, and then there's, I mean, just
It goes through the entire breadth of American jewelry styling throughout the 20th century, really.
yeah. So yeah, like they're 2 rolls deep. There is zero organization here.
Well, there is
Other than
segment
what little
organization
Vincent's.
of what's on the website. Everything else is definitely. I know what we have, but it's not necessarily in any specific order.
That's kind of cool in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not hard to find dies that match up with their other roll. And the whole business model has changed, and so there's not as much need for rampant.
We don't need to
perfect
produce 1,000 feet.
Exactly. So this is what's called an arbor, and this is what is used in the mills to hold a die in place. It comes with a bunch of spacers on either side, so you have to get the dies centered and in exact alignment with 2 of these, one on the top, one on the bottom. I'll show you the ones that are in the mills right now. Let's go this way.
Yeah, there's a reason we have just one person doing this, which is Vincent, because you can destroy rolls so quickly, so easily, and to think that they've made it 100 years without being wrecked, and to have some maniac wreck them now would be heartbreaking.
Yeah. So here's...
We retrofitted this thing. We turned it into... It used to be powered by overhead line shaft, but we put an electric motor on it because, well, we don't have an overhead line shaft or a water wheel. But let me show you something that's pretty cool. So all these castings here, this stuff was produced back when pattern makers who did castings were furniture builders. So they made everything really pretty. Yeah, they just don't make things like that anymore.
At the
You can
time,
see this one's really pretty too.
during the Industrial Revolution, mainly the only people who were experienced enough to make the bases for machines, as Dad was saying, were furniture makers. And so they would go through the traditional ways that they had learned of making furniture. And so a lot of the common designs of the era were also incorporated into industrial machinery that were never seen really by the public, but just by the people running them. And that continued into the 60s until machines started being
Made by machines.
Designed by other machines. Like the Warner Swayze in the main building, if you look, they took the cue of everything that's being made on a lathe has to be round. And so all of the designs are very rounded, and all of the handles, when you're turning them, go in a rounded direction, and all the dials have curves on them. So
Now they just make everything on a CNC mill with a box and a green button.
exactly,
And it pumps out
not
the
as
magic.
fancy, but
No, but
someday we'll revert back.
probably not.
I'm
so.
rejecting postmodernism.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Right.
he, as you can see, he looks like a 19th century chimney sweep. But anyway, so let's go make a bracelet with this.
All right.
Cool. All right. Here, you film me now, Vincent.
Okay.
So we're gonna make a 6.5 inch cuff, and I'm gonna dome it so that it makes it stiffer. Vincent rolls these out of 14 gauge, and
16 gauge.
well, they're really stiff, and they're plenty thick to make a nice bracelet out of. So let me get a ruler. Actually, I know how to get 7 inches. There we go. So each one of these, you actually get about 14 inches. We sell them by the foot, but they're actually 14 inches long because it stretches. So by cutting this in half, you get 2 cuffs out of this thing. Very cool. So I made it just a hair shorter so that when I form it, and then we'll work on something to decorate the ends. I'll show you. There's some options. Let's do it. So we have our bracelet former. We have it centered in the frame. The new ones are different. You can actually make a circular cuff. They're pretty cool. So here we go. Now, when you're pressing this, you got to remember you're pressing copper. If you press completely through your block of urethane, I'm just going to say it, you're a bonehead. That's all you need to do. Keep it in the center, and you feed it very slowly. You won't hurt the pattern. This is perfect for an electric press, but it works fine with a manual. See how it's coming up around through the hole? So notice how it gives it a nice dome. This makes this bracelet incredibly strong. You want to just move it like a ½ inch at a time. Don't try to move it a bunch of inches. You want it to overlap. Oh. And don't get yourself confused.
You can do it. There we go.
So I'm going to finish the last little corner here.
Very cool.
And just pull it out. Now notice we have a really great cuff. And we make two sizes of formers. There's a large and a small. I use the small one for the entire thing on this one, but you can do a combination of both if you'd like. Let's go sit down at the bench. How much are these, Vincent?
$10
$10 for the 14 inches. Cool. So
yeah.
So for $5, you've got yourself a really sweet cuff. And what would be really cool is if you were to add some sort of little feature. Like what I would probably do is let's file these up a little bit, and then check this out. Oh, it's a brand new file.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Yeah.
Look at you.
Made in Brazil.
Look at you.
I got brand new files. I was treating myself the other day. Actually, I went to the hardware store and I only needed like this roll pin, and it was 23 cents, and I didn't have 23 cents on me, and I was like, you know what? I actually gonna buy something because I can't charge 23 cents. So I got a couple files. So
I just love seeing all the vintage priceless workshop full of tools and machines you've acquired. You should give tours.
we do. Vincent does. He's good at it. He knows all the history.
I'll try.
So what I'm doing, I'm going to put a little radius on this. And I think what would look really cool is if I soldered a piece of silver onto it. Just so that it's, like if I took a piece of round wire, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know if I have any, but I don't know if you guys want to watch me make round wire. But it would be pretty cool, just put a little, solder a little piece on there.
You guys want to watch him make round wire?
Oh God.
We'll find out. Let's see what we can do.
All right, I can show you. We can do it.
We'll see what wire we have.
There might actually be a piece.
You guys notice that we don't plan these out way too much?
Yep.
Spur of the moment.
Danielle actually cheated and bought wire. It might actually be a piece. If not, we'll make some. It'll be a good experience. A good learning experience.
So what are you doing right now?
So what I'm doing is I'm just filing this edge so it's got a nice little arc to it. And then we're going to pour an ingot. We're going to roll some square wire really quick and solder it on to kind of finish the bracelet off. And that way you can turn a $5 piece of copper into like maybe a $40 or $50 bracelet. That would be kind of cool. And you won't have a ton of hours in it either. These probably, I love these things. They were massively popular back in the day. That's why these companies got so big. This kind of stuff was huge. And you see tons of it in the antique jewelry world. And this does not require, I mean, we're talking just basic stuff to do this. You don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on tools. Because if you wanted to do this manually, with a sandbag or over a mandrel, you could totally do it. I can do a video on that too. On how to shape a bracelet without having a hydraulic press. The only problem is the hydraulic press makes it look so easy. So let's get some silver. See? Sometimes when you pour an ingot, things don't go well. But it's okay. Ooh, look at that. Here we go. This is actually going to make us enough wire to do it. I'm going to roll this. Let's do it.
Get another rolling mill.
Now, when you're rolling metal, especially in a power rolling mill, you have got to really watch your fingers. Here, get the other side so because I don't want to get bumped and get fed into this machine. So you can see I took just a piece of regular old material and pretty quickly I wonder if that's enough. One more pass. But that might be enough. I want them to be pretty heavy. That looks pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll go to the bench and we'll anneal it. Well, actually, we're not even going to anneal it. We're just going to fit it up to our cuff. Yep. That's going to look pretty dandy. That'll look good. So what I'll do is I'll file this back edge flat. I wonder if that looked good. I think that looks better. I'm going to do that. And I'll just leave a little bit of a, so it kind of rolls over on the edge. Let me saw it out. I have a saw. The eternal struggle. Somebody took my saw. That's bad. Let me find the saw. Here it is. Got it.
Is that actually your saw, or?
Yeah, that's my saw.
Oh.
Yeah, it's got the really pretty.
I thought yours had your name on it.
I got one that's got my name on it, and then I have one with the engraving from the.
Do you know where that one is?
Yeah, it's somewhere. Get a blade. Of course, whoever borrowed my saw broke the blade and didn't put a fresh blade in it. You believe that? It's like something I would do.
What about, someone's asking about the red boxes? They're just totes to.
Oh yeah, those are just
hold
totes.
dies.
Yeah, those are. They come in the Vidmar cabinets that we hold the dies in, and they fit in the drawers. There are half-ass attempt at organizing. What's cool is you can buy them on Amazon.
It's just not easy to. People are asking about the saws again.
Oh, you should show them the handles.
Where are they?
They're on the packing table. Here, let me cut this in half.
All right.
And I can't believe it. We actually got our saw handles back from the anodizing place. If anyone's familiar with the plating industry, I like to think of it as where your dreams go to die. The places are just brutal, and nothing gets done. But nobody wants to do plating. That's just a word of warning. Don't go into that industry. It's bad. It's really bad. But check these out. We got our handles. So we are that much closer. So that's what they're going to look like. We stopped powder coating them and shifted to anodizing because powder coating chips when you drop your saw on the floor. The anodizing is just going to dent. Because I got tired of people wanting their saw handles repowder coated. It's paint. So the anodizing, not as cool in colors, but it works really good. It's a better alternative. All right. So here's our part, and I think we're going to solder that onto there. What would have been the really smart thing to do is done this while it was flat, when it was before I formed it. That would have been the brilliant thing to do, but
here we are.
Here we are. We did not do that. So I'm going to use.
People saying the handles look good.
Oh, cool. I'm going to use this pair of ring shank bending pliers. Wow, this stuff is tough.
Well, you didn't anneal it.
I did not anneal it. So let's see, what am I going to do? We're going to form this. And how would I want to form this? Let's...
Sandbag?
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's go over there and do that. Good thinking. So, when you're trying to form something like that, sometimes it's easier with like a, where are my dapping punches? Of course, don't have them. Well, darn.
Dapping punches. You mean
Those round ball things that
all these?
Oh yeah, give me the biggest one you got. Alright, that's one. So let me just grab a general all-purpose smack.
There's also these two.
That's the ones I want. This big one. Now, if you had a regular shot bag, you'd probably wreck it doing that. But ours, well, they used to be really tough. This is kind of a pisser. I don't feel like annealing. What do we got? It's kind of curved that I can smack it into. If I had my forming blocks, but don't know where they are. Let's there we go. It's curved plenty.
They're asking how Kenny is.
He's doing good. He doesn't seem. I guess our other dog Miles. I never had a dog before, and I didn't realize that our dog Miles was basically Cujo. He liked to bite, and I mean I loved him dearly, but this dog, he's like you. You can actually pet him. He's really friendly. He doesn't try to bite you or anything. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Are you ever going to make the shallow frame again?
Well, here's the problem. If I make the shallow frame, so here's what happens. If you make, I want to say this diplomatically. So let's say I make 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. What'll happen is everyone will buy the medium frame, and I will be sitting on inventory of the small and the large frames. So I'll have 3 times the inventory before I actually turn a profit. And then in order to actually get rid of all the small and the medium frames, I'll actually have to put them on sale and actually sell them at a loss. And then you dollar cost average it all together and you make no money. Where it's better if you just make one size. It's sad to say. When I made a small, medium, and large frame press, everybody bought the standard frame. But it gave them something to compare to. But I had to practically give away the other frames because everybody just bought the standard frame. So if I was to make 3 sizes of these, the reality is most people are going to buy just the 3-inch depth one. The one that's just one size up from this. And it works really good. And we're making jewelry. I mean, I know they make frames. I see people buying these frames that are 6 inches deep. And I have no idea why. Because we make jewelry around here. Oh, here we go.
Do you use a Fordham power graver?
Yeah, works good. I mostly use it just for like a shovel. I use hand engravers mostly for doing engraving. But this thing, it works pretty good, especially for steel. I mean, I know a lot of the engravers, the people who use like Lindsay gravers and the Graver Max stuff, they think this is crap. But then, I mean, I literally just dig steel out with it for when we're making dies. I don't, you know, if I'm going to do hand engraving, I usually do it by hand with a push graver. But this works pretty good. I like it. I broke it the other day. I had to put a new roll pin in it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it broke, but it's perfect now. So let's get back to fiddling with trying to, there we go. wires. There we go. Making the bend. Just using a die to make the curve. One of those
Very
shot
cool.
die things, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, just use that. Fits pretty nice.
Oh, very cool. A little bit of filing and you'll be in there.
Yep. So I'm going to actually take and file my bracelet a little bit more because I know that you can throw a lot of solder on something and try to make miracles happen, but it's easier just to make things fit the first time. We're going to be turning the air conditioning on any minute, Vincent. It's getting warm.
I know.
That's pretty decent. I'm going to hit this corner a little bit. So I'm just suspending it over the hole. There we go.
Aaron will be here in about half an hour to look at the switch.
Oh. Yeah, we actually hire electricians now. Because I've let the magic smoke out of a lot of things. Yeah, Vincent's, one of his rolling mills is going to get wired up to roll the pattern sheet.
Very excited about pattern sheet. The rolls that we have are
pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And looking at them, realizing just how much effort went into each of them is pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
Really.
So here we go. I'm going to use a... here it is. You know it's bad when your bench gets so full of junk you can't see anything. Got all these little dies everywhere. Hey, here's a new one we're working on. A wasp.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool. So we're making two versions. One with stones in the wings and one without.
Literally all these live streams are just close-ups of your hands.
Yeah, here, give them a good shot. So you just kind of set it up like that.
Nice.
And make sure our gas is on. And of course, look at that. I just interrupted my thing. So we're gonna fix this. There we go. And my flux is all dried up. But not to worry. Anybody seen my solder pick? Oh, here's some solder too. That's gonna be handy. Let me go get some water on this stuff. Be right back. That's not very entertaining.
I think it's pretty entertaining. And seeing the design and...
So you could just use tap water. But if you use tap water and it doesn't solder, you can blame it on something in the water.
Oh, they're talking about Larry Blasingame and the work he did on some of the Cranston Fancy Wire designs, where he set the stones and the silver on the sides.
Oh yeah, those are beautiful.
Yeah,
aren't they?
those are absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Larry's a genius.
Yeah, he's really good.
We have a couple of things by him in some of the display cases.
Yeah. So, glop your flux on. Alright. Let me grab some pliers to rip off some solder. Just tear it. Every time I try to cut it, it shoots across the room. So I just rip it. And I always rip more than you need, because inevitably you're going to lose some when you're trying to solder it. There we go. Can he do it with 4 pieces of solder? That is the challenge. Probably not. So, let me get in here. Put that back in place. Light my torch. Something like this is going to take some fire, because you're going to have to get that big copper chunk hot.
Yeah, soldering silver to copper is never an easy task, really.
And especially since I have the entire soldering board there as a heat sink. So once you, I don't know if you guys know this, but once your flux runs clear, that's about the time it's ready to solder. So we're going to get a few pieces staged, probably light something on fire here in a minute.
What type of solder is this?
Silver solder. Oh yeah, see, it just jumped onto my silver before it jumped onto my copper. We'll see if I'm making it leap. I can't believe I did it. There it is. Yeah, that was my dream as a jeweler, to make solder leap all the giant gaps. Now the temptation would be to just grab that thing and go, yeah. But we're going to go quench it. And then we'll find, I'm just going to finish out this one corner, just so you guys can see how it looks. Now, the smart thing to do would have definitely been to solder that on beforehand, because you don't want to anneal your bracelet. Now, I didn't get this thing super hot, so, and I used low temp solder for this. So there's that. Let's file it, and that way we can get an idea of what this amazing piece of jewelry is going to look like. Let's see. I left my edges overhanging. I'm going to just kind of winging it here. You can see all the flux that I'm basically just filing off here. Pickling it will be something we do very shortly here. I'm going to kind of just round this whole thing so that it would almost be like a piece of half round wire. I think that would look kind of nice. But you can see how you don't need to go out and buy like every shape of wire and, you know, agonize about every little detail. Just make something and move on. You're not going to make a masterpiece every time you sit at the bench. I think I've spent 30 years making jewelry, and honestly, I think I'm proud of, like truly proud of maybe 4 or 5 things, really, out of thousands, like where I was like, wow, I couldn't have done any better. But a lot of it's just, you know, your general average piece of jewelry. And if you look around at what people wear, a lot of it is just average, everyday kind of things. People are not walking around with these masterpieces on. They're basically just wearing, and it's really not about you. The reason they're wearing it is because it was a gift from somebody usually. And that's what gives it meaning to them. It's not so much that you made it. Trust me, they don't even remember you most of the time. So that looks kind of cool. You can see since I softened it, it got soft. But had I done it the opposite, like soldered this on first, then pressed it, we wouldn't be dealing with a kind of a soft bracelet. So take that as a word of warning. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to saw off these corners. Initially I thought I was going to somehow roll them over, but now I'm just going to cut them off. Yep, that looks pretty sharp. This one's pretty small, so I'm going to use my favorite tool, my disc sanders. If you guys... These are great.
Make something and move on. Seems like a new post-it note for my solder station.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see people agonizing over things or making these elaborate, insane things. Most people...
I mean, don't you like elaborate and insane?
No. Not really. Simple... Most people wear very simple pieces. That does look pretty good. Yeah, I kind of like that. So you can see how that would make a really nice bracelet. I'll finish this thing up and show it to you guys. But for now, was there anything else we were going to show them, Vincent? You can see I actually made the solder leap that giant gap.
Oh, wow.
I'm impressed. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That'll look nice.
Yeah.
That'll look nice. And so now it's probably like a $75 bracelet instead of a $50 bracelet.
If you do the other side.
Yeah, if I do the other side. You could probably give $75 for it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, if you polished it and...
Sure. Yeah, pricing things is hard, but I look at it this way. I can't eat jewelry, so because I see people going, "Oh, I can't believe they wanted to offer me less." I usually, when I was making jewelry, try to get them to buy more stuff. If they want to offer you less, go, "Oh, you're a wholesale buyer? Here, you need a pair of earrings with that too. Let's get you an earring, some pendants. We'll get you all set up. Then you can get a deal." But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll let you go. Take it easy.